We're here today with Canton Township Trustee Chris Nichols, and the topic is, and this is my expression, not Trustee Nichols, Canton Township becoming a part of the city of Canton because... No. And let me just, Trustee Nichols, give the viewers a little bit of background here, why I'm bringing this up. It'll be 2 weeks ago this coming Monday, Canton City Council had a meeting, and at its work session, topic came up about the Canton Water Department wanting to explore designing a system to pipe water to Canton Township. Mm-hmm. And just as an aside here, Canton Township already, about half of the township is receiving Canton water. And in the discussion, Councilman Bill Smuckler, who is councilman at large and probably the longest serving council person in Canton, when the topic was brought up about the expansion of water service to Canton Township, Councilman Smuckler said, well, you know, I remember years ago when this came up, and I think Trustee Nichols can probably tell us about what year that would have been.
I'm thinking around 94 or 95.
That some citizen, maybe even a trustee, went to the city of Canton and asked for the city of Canton to think about providing all of Canton Township with water. And back in those days, probably, certainly not long after that, Canton was very much into an annexation mode. And one of the conditions of annexation for if someone wanted water was annexation. And so Councilman Smuckler says, whatever happened to the annexation? You know, why are we giving away our water to Canton? Of course, it wouldn't be given away. The residents would be paying for it when there's no annexation on tap. And in fact, Canton Council did pass an ordinance that evening in its regular meeting, and Councilman Smuckler and I think Councilman Fisher voted no. Everybody else voted yes for at least going through the design phase. And so I cover the Stark County Commissioners on a pretty regular basis, and see Trustee Nichols, who's also the Finance and Budget Director for Stark County Commissioners, and so, Canton Township's going to become a part of Canton. And so I wanted to give him an opportunity to explain his answer of no. Go ahead, Trustee Nichols.
Well, first, the issue that the city of Canton was dealing with, that specific water project, which basically will service a core group of homes in the Canton South area down off of Cleveland Avenue South. And again, probably, I don't have the exact numbers, probably about close to half of Canton Township's residents do already have Canton City water out through the northwest end towards Myers Lake, some areas in the Canton South area already. But a number of years ago, before the expansion and the rebuild of the water reclamation facility that the city of Canton operates just south of downtown, that facility was located in Canton Township. With the expansion and the construction that was taking place over the last few years, the city wanted to annex that facility into the city of Canton, obviously, so the income tax from the construction workers and all of that was the benefit to them, plus it is their facility. As part of that annexation, offering water without annexation to this area of Canton South was negotiated as part of that annexation. So that's where this whole project came from, as part of a deal, an agreement with Canton Township and the city of Canton with that annexation. And so this project stands a little differently maybe than some others where they would require annexation. This was negotiated as part of a previous annexation of that Canton water facility.
But there was a Canton Township official that was very active in this project years ago. Could you address that at all?
In this specific project?
No, on a prior project, an approach was made to Canton.
Over the years, obviously, we have a number of residents that are on wells. Some are fine being on wells, some do want city water, and that comes up every few years. And there was, I was not there at the time, but my understanding is in the mid-90s there was a meeting between Canton Township and the city of Canton about offering, I believe, at the time, almost like bulk water. Like they would just sell the main water line and we would build our own system, potentially build our own system out. Or I wasn't familiar with the thing at that time, and I believe there was it was expressed to the city that maybe there was more interest in the residents of Canton Township either getting city water or becoming part of the city than what there really was. And I believe when that joint meeting happened, that fact came out. I don't believe it was the most, my understanding is it wasn't the most positive meeting just that has happened between our two political subdivisions, but that was the history. In history, Canton Township and the city of Canton maybe didn't always get along, and I think there was a matter of different boards and different leadership at the time. And since I've been on the board, and Bill Smith, when we both got elected to the board a number of years ago.
And Bill Smith is now a Stark County Commissioner.
Correct. I think one of the planks that we ran on was to rebuild that relationship. That as neighboring political subdivisions, neither of us wins by continuing to fight those battles. That we need to find a way to work together. When you disagree professionally, and then you move on and you find the next thing that maybe hopefully can benefit you both. And over time, I think that relationship has been built, and that's why the annexation of the water reclamation facility, we were able to negotiate that in. We extend water to some folks that want it, and in some cases need it, and they get what they need. The city, again, outside residents pay a multiple of the water rate. They pay 2.5 times, I believe, what the people in the city of Canton pay. So us bringing those customers on, paying a higher water rate, provides more money for the city than to take care of their own and help keep the rates down for the people that do choose to live in the city of Canton.
Okay, the redesign takes place. It's found to be feasible, at least from Canton's perspective. How much interest for the remaining unwatered people and residents of Canton Township in sense of not being on well water?
We've done some preliminary surveys, and we've had everywhere from 50 to 80% of people show interest in the city of Canton.
These are people who are on wells right now.
Correct. But again, at the end of the day, it also comes, there will be a cost to tie into that, and that's part of what we're working through now is determine, so we can go to those residents and say, we can make city water available to you, here's what the cost is, and then again, we need to get a significant number of those folks to sign up. The benefit to this project as of right now is it looks like the Ohio EPA is willing to underwrite almost 75% of the cost of the project, which significantly changes the cost to the city of Canton to put those water lines in, and it makes it a lot more financially feasible, hopefully, for our residents to tap in. So over the next couple months, as those numbers start to come together, then we can start having some public meetings with our residents and communicate, let them know, it can be available. We do need to get, maybe 50% of our folks to sign up. And as we get those numbers, then we can start to have those meetings and share that information with our residents.